Fisherman, ShareLoveT here. Taking a look at a game on Core Games. This game just came out on the April 20th. It's called Creepy Market. And it's a pretty fun game. Uh, we got some fishing and relaxing, hunt spirits, exploration, summon creatures, and a bunch of credits. You could see down here, Nostalgia Pack by ShareLoveT. So we're gonna take a look here. We're gonna hunt down some spirits. We're gonna see if we can't find some of my characters hidden in here. And yeah, we're gonna take a look at this game. So we'll get to it. So as you can see, I'm already in here. When you start the game, you start roughly here. You have all your different lots. You could summon creatures in. So I believe you start with one of I think maybe these three over here, or maybe on the other side it was those three, I'm not sure. And as you get more gold, you could buy more lots, and summon more creatures and more expensive creatures that take different lengths. In here, we have got where you go to sell your collectors. Not really sure about that name, but it's the things you find, pretty much the spirits. Then you have your staff you could upgrade. Out here you got this nifty little book. It explains pretty much the basics. Over here we have a stable, so if you want to upgrade your mount, move around the map faster. Reminder to everybody, G on your keyboard will pull out your mount. Most games have it, not all of them do. Over here you got sell your fish and upgrade fishing rod. And that's pretty much about it. You have this guy over here, you can sell your creatures to him, which you're farming from these little cemetery lots. Over this way, so I'll pull out my mount. You see it's nice and quick. I have a skateboard. I can switch to different kinds of mounts. Your mouse wheel pulls out your characters, your mounts, and your emotes. And if ever you want to use an emote, you click on it. Trumpet. Charge! Alright, so the fish are sometimes a little working out those bugs, but overall I think there's a lot of nice artwork here on display. The fishing works like similar to most of the fishing in these games are always work the same. Farmers Market's probably one of the more known games like this. And Creepy Market's definitely a play on that name. So yeah, the fishing's pretty cool. There's a lot of different fish. I dig the spooky theme of this game. Alright, so we're gonna pull out our metal detector. When you start the game, it looks a bit different. As you upgrade it, it changes colors. Same for your staff. It changes its appearance, the fishing pole. And as you can see, there's lots of different spirits to find in this game, so it's keeps it exciting because you don't know what's gonna pop out. So hopefully at some point we could find one of my models. We'll talk about a bit how I made it, maybe. It's not always super obvious. You gotta figure out which way the signals come in strongest, but I don't know. Sometimes I get it right away, and sometimes I'm meandering around a little too much. As you can see, this game runs nice and smooth though. You have a little FPS counter up on the right there. And you know what? I would say this is not the most in-depth game of this type. There's not a lot of systems in place here. But sometimes just, you know, the simplicity and a good theme go a long way. And personally, I don't have a lot of extra time to play games, so you know, I don't need a million different systems and a million different things to find or do. You know, just give me the staff and a bunch of different creatures to collect them. You know, I'm happy, especially if the models are cool. Slime. So as you can see, we haven't hit a ton of doubles. There's like a really big amount of different spirits, or you call them in this game, different models or whatever to find. It's very cool. So we're just gonna take a look. So at the bottom, you could see there's X, Z, E, R, Q. So we'll take a look through those. So X switches you to your spirit detector. C takes out your fishing pole. E, this is for your storage. Shows you what crops or monsters in this case you have. Should be taken out of menu. I don't know why it's not. Okay, there we go. It's because I had to have my fishing pole put away. Alright, so as you can see, this is the list of different creatures we could find. And I don't know if mine are like the more rare creatures or something. But I'll show you. I've only seen one of them so far. There you are. So this is one of my models that I made, and classic cartoon. So yeah, he is legendary, and let's see, probably is a bunch of legendary that I haven't found. Yeah, so there's a whole bunch here still that I haven't found. So you could see the list is pretty huge, which is awesome. Like really big up to the creator on this one. Yeah, it's hard, and you know, it's kind of hard to find the spirits if you don't have your detector out, so we'll get that out find some. Now you can see up on the top, I have 5,000 coins, 16 gems, which you could use to speed up things, and I think that's like the bonus currency, so if you wanted to spend money in the game, that's pretty much what you're buying, and then you use that to speed up things, like pretty much the standard model in these type games. Next to that is the barn storage. That's for your crops or your monsters that you summon, and then beside that is our knapsack, which is what we're putting our spirits in, and you share that also with your fish. In the top right corner we have, press 1, this brings out a menu. You have a daily thing you could claim here, and a daily login as well. So daily gems and daily login, then you can buy gems. Yeah, this is how you speed up stuff if you wanted to do that. And you also have these VIP things that give you bonuses, which I think the price in here is pretty reasonable. So if you really like the game and had the credits, I think that's, I've seen some games really charging some big prices, but I think that's pretty fair. We'll take a look at. Then we have our reward points. So you have daily quests that you can get points for, and at some point I plan on doing a beginner's tutorial and pretty much take you through my daily grind to get my quests done and get my daily points. So I look forward to that in an upcoming episode. And then number 3. So this is some more achievements, and these give you some different things, different prizes for completing them. Oh, so my backpack is full. Take out my map. I'm gonna blast back here. Go to the main place. This is where we sell our collectors to the collector. We have 2 left in our knapsack. That would probably be the 2 fish that we fished. Come over here, sell. And yeah, there's no reason ever to keep any of that stuff. You just want to sell all your fish and your spirits, and the ones you've collected show up in the menus after. I'm not sure where the fish are, but we'll take a look. We have M. If you hold M, this brings up a pretty cool looking map here. And yeah, I really like the look of that map. That's nice. And then T. So T is pretty much your tutorial area that explains. So if anything's unclear, you pop over here. Explains a bunch of stuff. So yeah, a pretty good UI layout. Yeah, clean design. Now, once in a while, I've noticed in this game that, sorry, taking a sip of coffee there, spirits sometimes will spawn inside of rocks or trees, and they're kind of a pain to get. So generally, these big rocks like this one here, if I get a spirit on my radar, I'll just not even bother with it, just in case it's right in the middle, and then I'm going around the rock like a dodo bird trying to find it. I mean, they're all over the map, so there's no reason to get finicky for one. He's so close. What happened there? A raptor. Bat spirit. And so yeah, I definitely plan on exploring some more games. So we'll do some deep dives on games one at a time. There's definitely a lot of other games that I want to get to. There's a lot of games that I've enjoyed playing for months. So I mean, this is kind of a newcomer that I'm excited about right now because I like the theme and it's kind of sucked me in a bit, but yeah, I definitely plan on doing some other games, so look forward to some Let's Plays in the future. See, right now, I think it's trying to get me to find one in this stone. And as you can see, it's in a spot that I can't quite get to. So I don't know if the dev could fix that, but because I feel like the spirits kind of spawn randomly on the map. So I say just save yourself the headache and don't even bother. Just go, keep moving. Find another one. Oh wow, there's a pocket of them, eh? And so far I like this layout. It's very simple. The map's not cluttered at all. It's like well done terrain. You can see off into the distance the mountains and everything. And a lot of the time, for me anyways, you know, that's my play style. Because I want to be in the editor most of the time. If I can help it, I try and avoid getting sucked into playing too much. But you know, keep it simple. Not every game has to have a million mechanics to it. You know, even the farming framework, like right when you start it, the front yard's cluttered with like 5 different things that you could collect, and you know, like I don't know. For me, sometimes like systems like that are just too daunting to play. Like I know for some people they want a deep experience like that, but it's good to have a good healthy mix of games where, you know, for the casuals out there too, that just want to, you know, not have to relearn the mechanics every time they play it or don't play it for a couple weeks. And you know, I used to be a big fan of RPGs, like especially JRPGs, and a lot of those games you have to play right through. Like if you stop somewhere, you know, for a couple weeks and then go back to it, then you're gonna be lost on what to do. And So I know a lot of the time I don't follow through on games, so I just, don't bother starting them if I don't know. If Unless I know I am gonna play it through, I have the time to do it. Because, having to relearn the game multiple times, it becomes a little unfun. And like I said, different strokes for different folks. If you got the time to put into a game, maybe you want those deeper systems. Like I used to be a big fan of Terraria, which has a million things to learn and a million different things you could craft and yeah, I mean that system is just infinite and it's super fun if you get into it and learn everything. And originally I played it on Xbox 360, and then later on I got it on PC. But I had already built up like a crazy, like really cool town or map or whatever on 360, and to restart everything on PC, I was like, do I really want to do that? Like, it's hundreds of hours, really, potentially, and you could just keep going. It's like an infinite game, right? But since I've been on core, that's I'd much rather spend my time uh, making actual games rather than like playing like a life like Sim City or something, or Sims or it's similar to building games on core, except I don't know. I think there's less reward than doing it on core. Um, so yeah, I mean, this is definitely my creative outlet of choice, and I could still appreciate other games like that, like big games, sprawling games with tons of systems, but just don't have time for them. If I had a clone to play games or work for me, and I could just play games, um, that would be awesome. But I mean, let's face it, there's so many good games nowadays that you couldn't possibly play them all in a lifetime. So at some point, you just have to decide where your time is best suited, and where is it going to be most productive, and even if you're just having fun, um, there's more productive ways you could use your fun time and your hobby time than just playing games. Like if you're building stuff and putting it on community content, or building an actual game on core here, I think that's I would at least say a step up from building a town on The Sims or Sim City or Minecraft, where there's literally zero potential reward, and in my case, building this huge epic map in Terraria on 360, I didn't even get to show it off because I had no friends to show it to, or had no way to record it. Whereas on here, I could easily tell one of my friends, hey, download Core, hop on here, check out what I built, which is, that's at least something, it's, and, you look at other people, what other people are building on here. There's so much talent on here and so much creativity. Really amazes me and inspires me. So yeah, sometimes the fish just don't want to cooperate, and either they're hard to see or they're just not there. I don't know. So um, that might change in the future in this game. But I definitely think the spirits are the way to go. So we're gonna keep on that for now. Plus, if you run into a legendary fish, then it's often pretty hard to catch. The trick to the fishing in this game is all patience. If you're feeling the littlest bit anxious or distracted, you're probably not gonna get it because it's very much skill based. Whereas this, finding the spirits, you're just finding the spot and waving your wand. It's much more of a sure thing if you want to get money in this game. But yeah, I definitely have to say overall, I've been on core about 5-6 months, and I could definitely say the quality of the tools we're given, the quality of the games overall, everything just keeps improving, and I think it's headed in the right direction. It's yet to catch on, but there's a lot of good stuff here, and it's when it does catch on, and the servers and the performance and everything starts to improve, I think this is going to be a hell of a platform. What do we got here? Who's hiding in the tree? Earth Elemental, rank number 1. Cool little grassy dude with some flowers on his head. Yeah, pretty much if you're fishing, you probably want to have your spirit detector out as you're doing it. That way, as you're going along the shore, you can find some spirits. That way, if you're not finding any fish, at least you're still doing something. Because like I said, sometimes the fish just don't want to cooperate. And then sometimes you'll come on this pier and there's like 4 or 5 of them all over the place, and you can't catch them fast enough. But yeah, it seems to be fickle, them fishies. Check out that volcano off in the distance, which is cool. When you hold the map, I noticed when we pulled the map out there earlier. Hold on, I have to put away my spirit thing. Yeah, it's on the map too. Very cool. And this is not anything out of the ordinary. Let's be clear on that. There's a lot of quality games on here, mixed in with everything from a teenager's personal afternoon project to team-based games where you have a couple people working on it and putting together some really good projects. So, I mean, depending on what games you run into, you could say, oh, Core's not that good, or you could say, hey, Core's like the most amazing thing I've ever seen. There's definitely a lot of games on here. I think they do a pretty good job on highlighting some of the more bigger titles, but definitely for certain genres that aren't popular, you'll have to do some digging to find them. multiplayer for some reason just hasn't picked up. I mean, there's a lot of good, definitely a lot of good arena style multiplayer games on here, but maybe there's just too many of them, and you know, the problem is you need one that's constantly in rotation and people are constantly in, or else the interest level drops, right? You know, and because there's so many free. Oh, so there he is, Darkwing Duck. Got it, another one. You know, like core being free is not necessarily a selling point these days. There's so many good free titles out there. You know, even some of the AAA titles like Call of Duty and stuff like that have free versions of them out there. You know, that might have been a selling point back in the day, at least to get people to check it out. But you know, I think people are slowly realizing, you know, their time is valuable. It's not just about the money to buy a game, you know. And we're so spoiled for entertainment, not just in video games, you know, like streaming services, everything, you know. So there's always something to watch, always something to do. So for a lot of people, they just don't want to take chances on things that are different because they don't want to end up wasting their time. And I get that sentiment, you know. You know, it's like if we're talking action movies or something, and somebody's like, "Oh, watch this new action movie." Well, I mean, there's already, you know, movies like Terminator 2, like that are like the most renowned action movie all time. You know, right? So it's like if I could be watching that, or I could be watching some half as good new action movie. You know, I think for a lot of us, you know, we know what we like, and we try and stick to that as much as we can to not waste our time. But it's also good to give things a chance, and you know, I've played a lot of not fun titles on here. You know, I can't say Core's just all around amazing. Like, you run into some bad games too, and but that's the chance. You know, for me, that's what the chance I'm willing to take, and I like to see even small half-assed projects. Just because it's interesting, you know. I might not stick around and play it too long, but it's still cool to see. And I've always been a big fan of indie games, and I mean, you can't get more indie than something like Core, or you know, Roblox or Crata, or any of these platforms where, you know, anybody could come along and put their idea out there. And I think far too often, you know, stuff is made only for money. And it kind of takes the fun out of things sometimes, you know. It's like when you see art that's just made because the person wanted to do it, and not because they were paid to do it that way. I think it shows through a lot of the time. Well, I think I've shown everything more or less this game has to show. There's still a lot of spirits we could find. Um, a lot of them seem to be rare. We've popped in Darkwing Duck, that's my second time. There's a lot of rare ones still to find, but you know, who knows how long that could take. And so I just will say I think this game's off to a good start. If you guys don't have Core Games or Epic Game Store, I definitely suggest checking them out, especially the Epic Game Store. There's no reason to not have the browser. It's free. Same for Core. It's free. I mean, you have access to a video game engine where you could build whatever you want. Some people pay thousands of dollars for that. It's free. Get on here. You have access to it, and come out, have fun, and check it out. So, signing off until next time.